Over to you, ma'am. All the best.
Good evening to all the listeners and my lovely audience there. Welcoming you all to the platform RKDX Talks. RKDX Talks is an unit of Global RK Code Speakers Forum registered under the MSME Government of India and ISO 9001:2015 certified. It's an international educational community to inspire and live. RKDX Talks Speakers Bureau represents and has access to a diverse and unique group of educationists. Their expertise is drawn on to stimulate education fraternity and lead online programs and boardroom strategy sessions. RKDX Talks is a leading international speakers platform for school leaders, principals, vice principals, and educators all over the globe. This talk show was started by Mr. R.K. Das in the year 2021, and since then it has been growing and flourishing with the help of all the educators all around. I am Manisha Dhar, founder of Road to Rainbow, an academic mentor and an internationally certified career coach. I am the ex-vice principal of Narayana Group of Schools, West Bengal. Today, I'm here as a moderator for the show on the topic SDG4, Education Goals. We have eminent speaker panelists over here. Good evening to all of you. I would love to introduce everyone on the other side, and I would request you all to share your experience and your important points on Sustainable Development Goals, the education goals. Okay. May I request
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. All right. Nahid sir, are you there? Would you please
Yes,
begin
I
with the
am.
show? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Over
Yes.
to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good
First of all,
evening.
I would like to appreciate and extend my sincere gratitude to R.K. Das sir, because whenever sir speaks, his first sentence is all are looking so smart, so presentable, so decent. He always infuses confidence, inculcates, right?
Very true. Very true.
Confidence. So it is very commendable, appreciable, right, sir? And you always appreciate, inspire us, motivate us. Thank you very much, sir. So SDG4. Before I go for, let me introduce myself. I am Nahid Raza, principal of Acme School of Learning. My school is located at Bilaspur, Rampur, Uttar Pradesh. Right. So today's topic is very good topic coined by sir, that SDG4, quality education. So education is modification of behavior. How can we modify, change behavior of our students? In this, first of all, I would like to stress that before we communicate, we should connect. We should connect to the community. And parents, students must be at ease. Teachers must be at ease in school, right? Students must be at ease in classes. They should develop social skills. And yes, creativity, literacy, and games must be 30 and 33%. Reason being, when creativity is there, children learn better. My second point comes here is autonomy to students. Let them decide their way of learning, right? Literacy must be initiated and some rules must be followed, and those rules must be framed by students, parents, and teachers sitting together. If the process is democratic, children would be able to follow those rules, and transaction of contents in the classes could be made better. Along with that, I would love to stress that pedagogy skills must be refined and re-refined, assessed and reassessed. So pedagogy skills must be put into chunks and small pieces: introduction of the topic, introduction of students, redesigning of furniture, questioning skills. Teachers must tell children to read, and every child must be given chance to read. For example, what I do in the classes is one child will read one paragraph, then second child will read, thereafter third child will read, right? Thereafter fourth child will read. So every child will read automatically when paragraph ends. So every child would be in a position to read a paragraph. Thereafter I explain, then I ask questions, and students also ask question. Students ask right question from their classmate. So this peer learning concept is introduced, and the volume of learning is very high. Co-curricular activities must be introduced, because in informal environment, children learn better, they communicate, they learn from each other, because they want to win. So they apply their best strategy. When they apply their own strategy, right, they develop leaps and bounds. It is very essential indeed. Proper implementation of government policy, say national education policy, has been introduced. All teachers must study. They should introduce, and the minimum age group, right, must be kept in mind while parents seek admission for their wards. Foundational literacy must be stressed, right? And whatever the initiatives, because there should not be any confusion among teachers. They should have proper knowledge of government policies, and they should principal take initiative to lead in terms of government policies, right? And whatever rules are framed by the government, by the state government, by the central government, right? Along with that, we should introduce some assessment tools. Say, for example, class tests, weekly class tests, monthly class tests, right? Oral test, open book test, variety of tools should be introduced, right? Formative assessments, summative assessments, and parents must be informed. Children must be given proper chance to appear, reappear, so that atmosphere in the school and culture of the school is very dynamic, improving environment, and children would be in a position to involve themselves in this process of assessment, right? And accountability of the teachers, accountability of parents should also be fixed. They must check diary of their wards in a regular basis, and we should check those homework diaries, school diaries, daily in school, right? And teachers must attend children, the ones who are not performing, and they should be given target. Accountability should be fixed, so that children must be finding themselves to be improving, right? And literacy is very essential. Numeracy skills, right, reading skills must be inculcated in the beginning itself, right? And cultural sensitivity is very essential. A teacher should use all accepted words, right? And we should respect diversity. We should try to involve everyone, and we should try to appreciate children more and more. Thank you. Thank you. This is from my side. Thank you indeed.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir has always been very positive with his facts and thoughts. Sir talked about social skills, also to enhance the pedagogy skills, the questioning skills. And as all of us, most of us rather, we hail from the education background, we have always been thinking about the betterment of the students. So, sir also talked about the development of the child with various aspects, giving them properly implemented tasks, collecting the home task, questioning skills, and also the assessment tools, the various assessment tools. So thank you so very much, sir, for your precious points, your time. You have always been very positive in the show. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. May I request Archana, ma'am? Ma'am, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Okay. Very
Good
good
evening,
evening, ma'am. How
everyone.
are
Good
you
evening,
doing?
Manisha, ma'am. I'm good. Thank you so much. Good evening, RK sir, and good evening, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here. So thank you so much, Das sir, for allowing me to come and share my thoughts. I have made a small presentation, and at the onset, I would like to say that all the facts which I have taken in this have been taken from Google, but I'll explain it in my own way. So it is like, one sec. Uh, is my screen visible, ma'am?
I can't see, ma'am.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
One
Just
sec.
give it a second try.
I am getting, ma'am. It takes. I think it takes about
Some time,
just
some seconds.
a
Yes.
minute.
I'll let you know once it comes on the screen.
Yeah. I'm also watching. Just as soon as it comes, then I'll start off. It's coming. This tab is sharing your screen, but I can't see. And another tab says stop sharing. That means it's just taking some time.
It's taking some time.
Yes. What I'll do is I'll start off with my.
Yes,
Sorry.
you can start off with your
Yes.
points. It
I'll
will
just.
come up for sure.
Yeah. Once it comes up, I'll just. I've saved it on my drive also, but it's showing over here.
It's there, ma'am.
Now it's
Yes.
available.
Please carry
Yes,
on.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, sustainable development goals are certain goals which have been set by the United Nations, and I'll talk about it in the global, you know, vision. So they are known as global goals, and these were adopted by the United Nations in 2015. And this is basically for an all over development of society, so that by the year 2030, the entire world can enjoy life in a better manner. So this was the basic reason of setting up these goals. And sustainable, again, like I explained in the previous talk show also, sustainable is something which can be sustained over a period of time. That is, we are not finishing off with the resources, and we continue to use them, but in a very intelligent manner. So my second slide. Now the second slide. So
It's not coming. Again, maybe some network glitches. You carry
now
on. Yeah, it's there.
the need for these goals, why did we have these goals, is that they were adopted by the United Nations, again, as I just mentioned, to end poverty and protect the planet, and also so that people would be able to enjoy peace and prosperity. Now, when we talk of education as such, education is a big thing, and so many esteemed people have given definitions in a different way, so I'm sharing just a few. Education is the passport to future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. According to G.K. Chesterton, education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. According to Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon with which you can change the world. Oprah Winfrey is also a great personality. According to her, education is the key to unlocking the world. It is the passport to freedom. And last but not the least, Albert Einstein believes that education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Now coming to our sustainable development goals. This particular goal, number 4, it says we should provide quality education to everyone, irrespective of their caste, color, creed, nationality, or sex. Boys and girls should be given equal rights to quality education. Now, what is actually quality education? It is something which gives you knowledge, which makes you free and confident to use the learning gained in school in your life later on in future. Now, the 7 targets of these sustainable development goals, number 4, is to provide universal primary and secondary education, early childhood development and universal pre-primary education, equal access to technical, vocational and higher education, relevant skills for decent work, gender equality and inclusion, universal youth literacy, and education for sustainable development and global citizenship. So these are the 7 main targets which the United Nations had in mind before framing these goals. Now I'll go to each one of them in detail. The first goal, which is universal primary and secondary education, by 2030, ensure that all girls and boys, they complete free, equitable and quality primary and secondary education, leading to relevant and effective learning outcomes. That is, everyone should be given equal rights to education so that they get quality education. That is something which they can use in their future life. It should be relevant to their life later on. The second one is early childhood development. Now, this is a very important phase because this is the foundation that is laid down for the development of a student as far as education is concerned. And this has to be really good and very, very positive. So by 2030, we need to ensure that all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development, care, and pre-primary education so that they are ready for primary education. This is just a setting up of the stage for later education to follow. The third is equal access to technical or vocational and higher education. That is, even if people are poor, even if they come from poor families or humble families, they should be given some kind of help, which is, I'll come to that later. So that they all get equal access for women and men to have affordable quality technical, vocational and tertiary education, including education at the university level. Now, it's not just education and learning which matters, but skills are also required. If somebody becomes an engineer or a doctor, they require relevant skills also. So by 2030, we need to substantially increase the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills. Now, you can't have a doctor who doesn't know how to operate. You can't have an engineer who doesn't know what will happen to the things that he is constructing. So relevant skills are very important. And these include technical and vocational skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship also. The fifth target is gender equality and inclusion. In the world all over, and unfortunately in India also, equal access to all levels of education and vocational training for the vulnerable, that is those who are not in a very positive and strong place, including persons with disabilities, indigenous people, and children in vulnerable situations. That is, roadside children or those who have lost their parents, so orphans. All these also have to be given some kind of help from the government or by the government to education so that gender equality and inclusion can be maintained. The sixth target is universal youth literacy. So by 2030, we have to ensure that all youth and a substantial proportion of adults, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. We know the difference between literacy and numeracy. And the last target is education for sustainable development and global citizenship. Now world is not differentiated into parts, because of thanks to our technology, we have become one family. So we need to ensure that everyone acquires knowledge and skills which are required for sustainable development, and all this leads to a culture of peace, non-violence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity. If somebody is good at something, it should be appreciated. We should not just limit ourselves to certain areas of the world, but we must need to appreciate every culture's contribution. Next is how to implement these goals. Now we keep saying do this, do that, but we also need to see how has to be done. How do we implement? So the first means is to have effective learning environment. That is, build and upgrade education facilities that are child, disability, and gender sensitive, and also provide safe, non-violent, inclusive, and effective learning environments for all. The second means is to provide scholarships. So by 2020, substantially, we have expanded globally the number of scholarships available to developing countries, in particular, least developed countries, small island developing states, African countries, etc., so that everybody gets access to technical and vocational skills and education. And last is teachers and educators. We need quality teachers. We need educators in the real sense of the term. It's not just anybody who goes and stands in a classroom and starts with a lecture. No, they should know what is their aim, what exactly are they trying to teach the children. Along with theoretical education, they need to give them social skills also. They need to give them vocational skills also, and all-round personality development. So for this, we need to train our teachers and educators also. And that is what is being targeted. By 2030, substantially increase the supply of qualified teachers, including through international cooperation for teacher training in developing countries, especially the least developed countries and small island developing states. So this is very important. I mean, we have goals and we also need to implement them. It's not just planning for something and not implementing. So implementation is more important than simple planning. So this was my take. And I believe education, again, if we follow all these rules, etc., we have to be very, very sure about our contribution as educators, and we need to follow all these things which have been put up by the United Nations, and if we follow them religiously, then I'm sure we'll be able to get or achieve the goals that we have been looking for. So that was my little presentation and my views. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Manisha ma'am.
Thank you so very much, Archana ma'am. Your presentations are always wonderful, full of information, and you are so positive, always speaking about every positive outcome that can come up. Ma'am talked about the most important thing. Ma'am pointed on that education is the passport to future, a very important line. And ma'am also stressed on quality education, early childhood development, without which it's really not possible to take care of sustainability. Equal rights given to children, irrespective of the standard of living, all the students all over the globe, they have the right to education. So that has to be given proper importance. And also, only studying is not enough, giving proper education is not enough. Relevant skills should be there so that everybody can utilize the learning process for a better outcome. I'm also stressed on gender equality, and finally the implementation of the goals. That's very important, that goals are set, but then what happens after that? The implementation of goals are very important. Effective teaching learning process. Ma'am stressed on the effective teaching learning processes, scholarships, and also, of course, the quality teachers with proper degrees, proper qualities, so that they can hold the hands of the future generation and brighten up the future, and that will only lead to sustainable development goals. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so very much. We would love to have you again and again on our show. Thank you. Okay. Um, Manju, ma'am, will you be there to introduce yourself? How are you
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
before that?
Super, ma'am. Thank you so
Okay.
much,
Okay.
Manisha,
There
ma'am.
you are.
Yeah, to giving me this opportunity. And always, I'm grateful to Arkedas sir also to take these type of always the topics that is very useful for nowadays, and we have to know about this. So I just want to start today's topic. Before that, I just want to introduce. My name is Manju Mala, and I am a mathematics tutor taking online classes for national and international students. And apart from that, I am a numerologist, graphologist, and handwriting and signature analyst also. Going on today's topic, ma'am. So today, before that also, we took about that sustainable development goal, what it will be. So it gave me a great pleasure to speak to you about sustainable development goal 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all. Education is a fundamental right and a critical foundation for achieving sustainable development. Education empowers individuals, strengthens communities, and drives economic growth. Unfortunately, there are still millions of children around the world who are out of school and many others who are not receiving a quality education. We can see surrounding so many people are there. To achieve sustainable development goal 4, we must ensure that every child has access to free, equitable, and inclusive primary and secondary education at least. This includes eliminating barriers such as poverty, gender inequality, and disability, and providing safe and inclusive learning environments. How the ma'am just explained just before me. We must also promote lifelong learning opportunity for all, including adults also, to ensure that everyone has the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in today's rapidly changing world. Moreover, education plays a vital role in eradicating poverty, reducing inequality, and promoting sustainable development. According to UNESCO, if all children in low income countries left school with basic reading skills, 171 million people could be lifted reduction in global poverty. Additionally, investing in education can help reduce income inequality by providing individuals with the skills and knowledge needed to access better paying jobs and higher living standards. Furthermore, education has a crucial role to play in promoting gender inequality. Educating girls, in particular, has been shown to have a significant impact on a range of development outcomes, from reducing child mortality rates to increasing women's participation in the workforce. Girls who receive a quality education are more likely to marry later, have fewer children, and invest more in their family's health and well being. In addition to its social and economic benefits, education can also contribute to environmental sustainability by providing individuals with the knowledge and skills to understand the environmental challenges we face and the tools to address them. Education can help build a more sustainable future for all. And however, achieving sustainable development goal for requires more than just increasing access to education. We must also ensure that our education system are equipped to meet the needs of the future. This means investing in new technologies, encouraging innovation and creativity, and providing training for teachers and other education professionals also. Moreover, education must be tailored to the needs of the 21st century. In today's rapidly changing world, individuals need to be equipped with a broad range of skills, including critical thinking, problem solving, digital literacy, and communication. Education must also be inclusive and culturally responsive, reflecting and diversity of our societies and promoting intercultural understanding and respect. By achieving Sustainable Development Goal 4, we will not only improve the lives of individuals, but we also create a more sustainable and prosperous future for all. And we can say that education is a key to unlocking our collective potential and building a better world. So let us work together to ensure that every child has the opportunity to learn and grow, and that education is accessible to all. By doing so, we can create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world for generations to come. And with this one, uh, near to my society, what I know, one of my friend, she was just past seventh grade after marriage, and now her daughters, they are national swimmers, but she didn't completed her education. So now from last 3 years she is now starting. She completed by online learning. She completed 8 9, and last year she completed 10th grade. So many people around in society, they were telling, why you are doing now, your kids are doing they are going into job now, they are completed their graduation, why you have to do the education? So she told that I'm doing for myself, because somewhere I am feeling I didn't complete my education, so I want to complete my education. I also want to complete my graduation. So she, in this age, she is near about 40 42, and she started. So that is heads off to her, that in this age she also think about that, she want to complete this one, and after that also whatever the society is telling, in-laws are telling, and so many friends or relatives are telling to her, but she want to complete, she want to complete that one, and that because that is the right for us. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I am completing for here. Thank you so much.
That was so nice of you, and especially the story, the last story that you said, that was really so good about women. Like these days, those who really didn't get chance at proper time, there is like, it always says that education doesn't have any boundaries, no age, no barrier. We can attain it anytime, and it's always beneficial. Somewhere
Yes,
I have read in some article that at least 30% of our salary we must invest in learning some new thing. The process of learning, relearning, and unlearning should continue throughout our life. That
correct.
always uplifts ourselves.
Yes,
Ma'am has been very positive again with her points. Ma'am stressed about Manju. Ma'am stressed about girl education, women's participation, of course, teachers training, which will really help our present generation to carry on with sustainability, and of course, we'll reach our education goals. Thank you so very much, Manju, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, Abbas sir, are you ready? Will you carry on?
Yes,
Take
yes,
the stage, sir.
yes. Thank you.
Kindly
Good
introduce
afternoon.
yourself. Yes, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks and support envelope with warm greetings for this wonderful meetings organization from my homeland, the Cedars of Lebanon. Today, I will talk about the six goals of sustainable development: clean water and hygiene. Access to clean water for all is a basic necessity of the world we want to live in, and there is enough fresh water on the planet to make that happen. Yet, because of a bad economy or poor infrastructure, every year millions of people, including children, die from diseases associated with poor water supplies and poor sanitation and hygiene facilities. Water scarcity, poor quality, and poorly equipped sanitation facilities negatively affect the food scarcity, livelihood choices, and educational opportunities of poor families around the world. At the present time, the risk of scarcity of freshwater resources stream by 2050. More than 2 billion people, and it is possible that a quarter of in countries affected by chronic or recurrent water scarcity. Drought is affecting the world's poorest countries. It is gratifying that significant progress has been made in providing access to drinking water sources and improving sanitation over the past decade, with more than 90% of the world's population now having access to an improved source of drinking water. In order to improve drinking water resources and sanitation facilities, there is a need to increase investment in the management of freshwater ecosystem and sanitation facilities at the local level in many developing countries. Some Arab countries, Africa, Central Asia, South Asia, East Asia. We in the International Diplomatic Organization of Development and Peace strive to achieve the 17 goals issued by United Nations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abbas sir. It was wonderful listening to you. Okay,
you.
sir stressed on clean water and hygiene. That was his main points. That we have to improve the sanitation conditions. Sir also stressed about all the 17 goals taken up to carry on with the sustainability. Thank you so much, sir, for your important words and sharing your thoughts. We would love to have you again and again on our show. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Poonam ma'am, would you carry on with your important sharing?
Very good evening.
Good evening.
Today topic is सतत विकास और शिक्षा। शिक्षा ददाती विनय। शिक्षा जो है वो हमें विनय देती है। हम शिक्षा पे ही आज बात करेंगे। सतत विकास के लिए शिक्षा क्या है? ESD सभी उम्र के शिक्षार्थियों को जलवायु परिवर्तन, जैव विविधता की हानि, संसाधनों के सतत उपयोग और असमानता सहित परस्पर वैश्विक चुनौतियों का सामना करने के लिए ज्ञान, कौशल, मूल्य और एजेंसी प्रदान करता है। यह उन्हें सूचित निर्णय लेने के लिए और समाज को और ग्रह की देखभाल करने के लिए व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक कार्रवाई करने का अधिकार देता है। ESD एक आजीवन सीखने की प्रक्रिया है और गुणवत्ता पूर्वक शिक्षा का एक अभिन्न अंग है। यह सीखने के संज्ञानात्मक, सामाजिक, भावनात्मक और व्यवहारिक आयामों को बढ़ाता है और सीखने की सामग्री और परिणामों, शास्त्र और स्वयं सीखने के माहौल को शामिल करता है। इस विषय पर यूनेस्को कैसे काम करता है? ESD के लिए यूनेस्को संयुक्त राष्ट्र की अग्रणी एजेंसी है। यह 2030 में ESD के कार्यान्वयन के लिए जिम्मेदार है। इसके लिए वैश्विक विकास के लिए संयुक्त राष्ट्र के शिक्षा के दशक और ESD पर ग्लोबल एक्शन प्रोग्राम GAP का काम करता है और जारी रखता है। ESD पर यूनेस्को का 5 प्रमुख क्षेत्रों में काम है। अग्रिम नीति, सीखने के वातावरण को बदलना, शिक्षकों की क्षमता निर्माण, युवाओं को सशक्त बनाना और जुटाना, स्थानीय स्तर की कार्रवाई में तेजी करना। यूनेस्को ESD के माध्यम से जलवायु परिवर्तन, जैव विविधता, आपदा जोखिम में कमी, पानी, महासागर, सतत शहरीकरण और टिकाऊ जीवन शैली जैसे सतत मुद्दों पर ध्यान केंद्रित करने वाली शैक्षणिक गतिविधियों को विकसित और विस्तारित करने के लिए देशों का समर्थन करता है। यूनेस्को ESD पर विश्व स्तर पर नेतृत्व और वकालत करता है और मार्गदर्शन और मानक प्रदान करता है। जलवायु परिवर्तन को संबोधित करने के लिए यूनेस्को शिक्षा को कैसे जुटाता है? जलवायु परिवर्तन शिक्षा ईएसडी का मुख्य विषय, क्योंकि यह लोगों को जलवायु संकट के प्रभावों को समझने और संबोधित करने में मदद करता है। उन्हें परिवर्तन के एजेंट के रूप में कार्य करने के लिए आवश्यक ज्ञान, कौशल, मूल्यों और दृष्टिकोणों के साथ सशक्त बनाता है। जलवायु परिवर्तन से निपटने के लिए शिक्षा और प्रशिक्षण के महत्व को जलवायु परिवर्तन पर संयुक्त राष्ट्र फ्रेमवर्क कन्वेंशन, पेरिस समझौते और जलवायु संबंध कार्रवाई में मान्यता दी गई है। सशक्तिकरण एजेंडा, जो सभी सरकारों को जलवायु परिवर्तन से संबंधित नीतियों और कार्यों पर सभी हितधारकों और प्रमुख समूहों को शिक्षित, सशक्त बनाने और संलग्न करने का आह्वान करता है। अपने ईएसडी कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से यूनेस्को शिक्षा को जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रति अंतर्राष्ट्रीय प्रतिक्रिया का अधिक केंद्रीय और दृश्य हिस्सा बनाने के लिए काम करता है। यह ज्ञान पैदा करता है और साझा करता है, देश को नीतिगत मार्गदर्शन और तकनीकी सहायता प्रदान करता है और जमीन पर परियोजनाओं को लागू करता है। मैं इसमें हो सकता हूँ की रक्षा के अलग अलग तरीकों से कार्रवाई कर सकता है। 2030 रेड मैप के लिए ईएसडी के पूरक के लिए यूनेस्को ने 2030 टूल बॉक्स के लिए ईएसडी विकसित किया है, ताकि सदस्य राज्यों और क्षेत्रीय वैश्विक हितधारकों का समर्थन करने के लिए चयनित संसाधनों का एक विशिष्ट सेट प्रदान किया जा सके, ताकि 5 प्राथमिकता वाले क्षेत्रों में गतिविधियों को विकसित किया जा सके। कार्यान्वयन के जो क्षेत्र हैं, पहला है सतत शिक्षा। क्या सतत शिक्षा का अर्थ है सामाजिक, पर्यावरण, आर्थिक मुद्दों के बारे में शिक्षा के माध्यम से लंबे समय तक चलने वाले समाधान खोजने का मतलब स्थिरता के 3 स्तंभ। दूसरा अवधारणा, जिसमें जीवन स्तर में सुधार, सशक्तिकरण पैदा करने और अन्योन्याश्रितता का सामना करने के लिए आर्थिक, सामाजिक और पर्यावरणीय कार्यक्रमों को बनाने के लिए सक्रिय अकादमिक भागीदारी शामिल है। तीसरा, सतत शिक्षा का एक शैक्षिक दृष्टिकोण है, जिसका उद्देश्य छात्रों, स्कूलों और समुदायों में अपने स्वयं के जीवन में, अपने समुदायों में और एक विश्वव्यापी मंच पर अभी और भविष्य में स्थिरता के लिए कार्य करने के मूल्यों और प्रेरणाओं को शामिल करना। एक अवधारणा जिसमें जीवन स्तर में सुधार, सशक्तिकरण पैदा करने और अन्योन्याश्रितता का सम्मान करने के लिए आर्थिक, सामाजिक और पर्यावरणीय कार्यक्रमों को बनाने के लिए सक्रिय एकाडमिक भागीदारी शामिल है। सतत प्रथाओं और विकास पर व्यक्तियों को प्रशिक्षण और शिक्षित करना। स्थिरता शिक्षा इतनी महत्वपूर्ण क्यों है और सस्टेनेबिलिटी के बारे में अधिक सीखना क्यों महत्वपूर्ण है? इस प्रश्न का सरल उत्तर है क्योंकि कोई और विकल्प हमारे पास नहीं है। 21वीं सदी की चुनौतियों को हल करने के लिए स्थिरता महत्वपूर्ण है। जलवायु परिवर्तन, पर्यावरण प्रदूषण और जैव विविधता के नुकसान के समय में स्थिरता के बारे में अधिक सीखने का कोई तरीका नहीं है। जितना अधिक आप जानते हैं, ग्रह के लिए उतना ही बेहतर और मानव पर्यावरण संपर्क पर आपका प्रभाव उतना ही अधिक सकारात्मक होगा। आज के बदलते पर्यावरणीय माहौल में समाज को पहले से कहीं अधिक पर्यावरण, नवाचार और स्थायी फोकस की आवश्यकता है। सामाजिक
Hello. Can we hear Poonam ma'am? Archana ma'am? I think there is some technical glitches on the part of Poonam ma'am. Hello. Can you hear me? Abbas sir, can you hear me? Manju ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, I think there is some network glitches on the part of Poonam ma'am.
Right.
Poonam ma'am was talking about the most important aspect of education, शिक्षा ददाति विनयम. उसी के बारे में मैम बात कर रही थी. पूनम मैम, आप हो वहाँ पे? Ma'am was also talking about the role of UNESCO. किस तरह से, हाँ, पूनम मैम,
यस मैम.
हाँ, आपका थोड़ा सा कनेक्शन थोड़ा ग्लिच
हाँ,
हो गया
डिस्टर्ब हो
था.
गया था.
हाँ, आपको और कुछ
Yes.
शेयर करना है मैम?
मैम लास्ट का थोड़ा सा मेरे पॉइंट रह गए थे, अगर आप कहिए तो मैं वापस कंटिन्यू कर लूं.
हाँ, प्लीज बोलिए.
ओके मैम.
प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
यस. हम लोग सतत शिक्षा के 5वें पॉइंट पे थे जब हमारा कनेक्शन टूट गया था. सतत प्रथाओं और विकास पर व्यक्तियों को प्रशिक्षण और शिक्षित करना.
जिस तरह से ऑनलाइन ने हमें काफी सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज दिए हैं, उस तरह दिस ग्लिचेस आर ऑलवेज देयर. सो वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दैट. वी कैन नॉट हेल्प इट. द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट हम सभी इतने दूर दूर बैठे हुए हैं मगर फिर भी कितने करीब हैं. यही इसकी पॉजिटिव टेक अवे है. ओके मैम, विल यू प्लीज कंटिन्यू?
यस मैम.
ओके,
स्थिरता शिक्षा इतनी महत्वपूर्ण क्यों है और सस्टेनेबिलिटी के बारे में अधिक सीखना क्यों महत्वपूर्ण है? इस प्रश्न का सरल उत्तर है क्योंकि कोई विकल्प नहीं है. 21वीं सदी की चुनौतियों को हल करने के लिए स्थिरता महत्वपूर्ण है. जलवायु परिवर्तन, पर्यावरण प्रदूषण और जैव विविधता को नुकसान के समय स्थिरता के बारे में अधिक सिखाने का और कोई तरीका नहीं है. जितना अधिक आप जानते हैं ग्रह के लिए उतना ही बेहतर, लेकिन आपके लिए भी और मानव पर्यावरण संपर्क का आपका प्रभाव उतना अधिक सकारात्मक होगा. आज के बदलते पर्यावरणीय माहौल में समाज को पहले से कहीं अधिक पर्यावरण नवाचार और सामाजिक आंदोलन और नवोन्मेषी पहले पर्यावरणवाद और हमारे दुनिया में सबसे आगे ले जाने का एक तरीका है. लेकिन हमारे पास से बेहतर भी कई साधन हैं. लोगों को सस्टेनेबिलिटी प्रदान करने के बारे में पढ़ाना. स्थिरता शिक्षा के मामले में आज के शिक्षकों की एक महत्वपूर्ण जिम्मेदारी है. अगली पीढ़ी को पर्यावरण के प्रति जागरूक, आत्मनिर्भर विश्व नागरिक बनाना आवश्यक है जो पर्यावरणीय जिम्मेदारी की तत्कालता को समझते हैं. धारणा शिक्षा सभी स्कूली विषयों को शामिल करती है और कक्षा से बहुत आगे तक फैली हुई है. यह छात्रों को वास्तविक दुनिया के कौशल प्रदान करता है जिसका उपयोग वे धरती को बेहतर बनाने के लिए कर सकते हैं. आज के बच्चों को कल के लिए आवश्यक आत्मनिर्भरता प्रदान करता है. यह उन्हें एक गहरी उत्कृष्ट समझ प्रदान करता है कि पर्यावरण क्यों आवश्यक है. यह कारण बताया गया है कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट क्यों महत्वपूर्ण है या ये एजुकेशन क्यों महत्वपूर्ण है. मनुष्य और पर्यावरण के बीच परस्पर निर्भरता है. पर्यावरण समाज और अर्थव्यवस्था के बीच संतुलन है. सतत जीवन कौशल ग्रह के प्रति सम्मान और शिक्षा के माध्यम से भविष्य की तैयारी और अनुकूलन। यह 5 मुख्य बिंदु हैं जिसके लिए क्वालिटी एजुकेशन सबसे महत्वपूर्ण। थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू
Thank
सो
you.
मच आरके सर।
थैंक यू सो मच पूनम मैम। मैम इतनी शुद्ध हिंदी में इतने सारे आपने पॉइंट्स बताए एंड आपने तो जोर दिया कि इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ एजुकेशन के ऊपर, कि किस तरह हम बच्चों को सिखाएं कि किस तरह से हम अपने पर्यावरण को बचा सके। वही होगा उचित शिक्षा, जब हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर सके अपने डेली लाइफ में। इसी तरह से हम सस्टेनेबिलिटी को एकदम 100% रूप में पा सकते हैं। Thank you so very much. Thank you all of you for your immense support. It's really wonderful to have you all
थैंक यू मैम,
every
थैंक
time on this platform rather. Sunday evenings are really wonderful, listening to all precious points from all of you. We expect your cooperation so that we can keep discussing on more emerging topic and make the RKDX talk show the fittest and finest one. Thank you so very much, all of you. Hoping to meet you all very soon again. Thank you, RKD Das sir. Sir has always been appreciating everybody. So thank you so very much, sir. You too. And 3 cheers for RKDX Talk Show. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.